Welcome to the Stoic Quotient, where philosophy isn't a retreat from the world, but a call to rise in it. Let's talk about Stoicism in the wake of war. As the Middle East trembles under the weight of destruction, the world holds its breath. But for many, fear has already entered the bloodstream. In this emotionally charged episode of the Stoic Quotient, we explore how war trauma spreads beyond borders, impacting minds, families, and entire generations. And we ask, what can ancient Stoic wisdom teach us in the face of modern collapse? Yesterday, Iran trembled. The sky cracked with thunder not born of weather but of missiles. Sirens gave way to screams, and homes once filled with laughter became shadows of survival. Families scattered in panic, some clutching children, others clinging to faith. The silence that followed wasn't peace but paralysis, and even those thousands of miles away felt it. A tremor not in the ground, but in the gut. Because when one corner of the world bleeds, humanity bleeds with it. The nervous system of our species flinches, and the soul of the world weeps quietly in shared sorrow. We live in a world where war is live-streamed, where fear travels faster than facts, where headlines feed our nervous systems more than food feeds our bodies. People woke up to silence, not the peaceful kind, but the kind where power has shut off your internet, and all you can hear is your own panic. And beneath that panic, children ask questions no parent wants to answer. Parents pretend to be strong with tear-soaked pillows, and millions around the world wonder, how do I process the horror of something I can't stop? War doesn't just break buildings, it breaks psyches. It fractures the invisible architecture of the human mind, cracking open places where fear, helplessness, and grief take root. Even those who never touch a battlefield carry its shrapnel in their minds. Through the stories they hear, the images they can't unsee, and the tension they absorb from those around them. It manifests in chronic anxiety, in a nervous system on permanent high alert, in the deep sighs of parents trying to shield their children from a world that feels like it's always on the brink. These are the wounds that bleed without blood, the scars no one sees but everyone feels. It's in the sleepless nights, the startle at fireworks, the strange guilt of being safe while others bleed. And it's passed to children like a spiritual inheritance. Their play becomes cautious, their dreams are more anxious. They absorb the unspoken terror in their parents' voices. Even if they live far from violence, they are not free from its echo. The media machine, selling fear, and the machine keeps spinning. News outlets pump adrenaline, not awareness. Every frame of destruction becomes content. Every casualty clicks. War has become marketable. And peace? Boring. So we scroll, numb. Not because we don't care, but because caring has become exhausting in a world that commodifies suffering. We share hashtags like lifeboats, hoping they'll keep us afloat in an ocean of despair. We double-tap tragedies, not out of apathy, but because we've been conditioned to engage without truly feeling. Deep inside, we know truth is being curated, compassion is being manipulated. Many of us are in the dark. We don't see the full picture. We don't know what's really happening, and we can't rely on news that often bends the truth into narrative. But that's why this space matters. That's why the Stoic Quotient exists. The same questions you hold in your heart, hold them too. Together we ask, we seek, and we speak, not with certainty, but with courage. Because silence helps no one, and our collective voice might be the only clarity we have left. The Stoic way, stand where you are. The Stoics knew war. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations from the battlefield, but he didn't glorify conquest, he glorified virtue. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What can we control when missiles fly? Not the sky, not politics, not the trajectory of destruction, but we can control our response. Our compassion becomes our rebellion against cruelty, our clarity, a shield against propaganda. Our courage to not let fear turn us into monsters becomes the soul's last line of defense. In a world unraveling at the seams, these inner virtues are not passive, they are revolutionary. They remind us that even as the world burns, we can still choose to protect what makes us human. We must feel, but not fall apart. Because numbness is not strength, it's surrender. We must grieve, but not give in to hatred. For hatred is the slow poison that turns victims into perpetrators. And we must stay grounded, because if the world is shaking, someone must stand still, not in indifference, but in fierce clarity. That stillness becomes a sanctuary, a center of gravity for others to find balance. In a storm of emotion, philosophy becomes the anchor. And in the midst of global madness, our inner peace is no longer a luxury, it becomes a moral act. For the children, Healing forward. The bombs may fall in one place, but the emotional fallout spans continents. Children in safe countries still absorb the tension. They feel the unease in classrooms, sense the worry in adult eyes, and they begin to carry fear that isn't theirs. We must protect their innocence with truth, not terror. We must speak honestly but gently. We must raise them to ask, not hate. Because trauma doesn't just echo, it embeds itself in DNA, in language, in silence passed down through generations. It is replicated through nervous systems primed for threat, through parenting shaped by fear, through communities held together by survival rather than joy. Unless we interrupt the cycle, consciously, courageously, and consistently, it becomes our children's inheritance. Healing is no longer a personal act. It's a generational intervention. We must choose to break what broke us. Ground yourself daily. Stillness is rebellion in a chaotic world. Limit media intake. Don't let fear hijack your nervous system. Hold space for others. Let people grieve, process, question, act locally, love globally. Compassion isn't geographic. Teach children truth with love. Be their calm in this storm. This is the Stoic Quotient. We speak to the soul of the world even when it's screaming. We don't run from the truth. We face it with philosophy in one hand and compassion in the other. So come back. This conversation is just beginning. Because we are not here to escape the fire, we are here to walk through it, awake. When the world burns, most will look away. But those who are called to truth, to virtue, to peace must look straight into the blaze and remember who they are. We don't turn away. We stand rooted in conscience, in clarity, in compassion, and when the smoke clears, we are the light that remains, the living proof that even in the darkest hour, humanity did not lose itself. Stay supported, stay loved, stay hopeful. Welcome to the Stoic Quotient. So stay with us. We'll be back. This is not the end of the conversation, it's the beginning of a movement. Move this message forward. Share with others who are searching for meaning. Thanks for being with us.